so we, you know, like good pastors know good pastors. So we would pick up these pastors that, you know, absolutely struggling. You know, they're hungry, their kids are hungry, their families are just, you know, living in terrible conditions. And so we put them on an income and then start running our feeding programs and education programs out of their churches. And then that would give them favour in the barangay, and then people would start coming to church. And we would build them homes and like the pastors and help them with their buildings and that. And so people would come in and then the church would grow and whole communities would get saved. Right, yeah. And then we'd have more of a volunteer base to run feeding programs and children care programs. And yeah. So it's been working very, very well. Yes, thank you. I do have milk.
Yes.
Yeah, lots. Yeah, lots of milk, thanks. Yeah, so it was a good system that was working very, very good, and
So
it still does work.
how did you publicise what you did? Did you do that online?
Just on Facebook.
On Facebook?
That's all, and it's only my like I've tried to do YouTube but I'm not technical. I had a guy at one time and I said, I'll pay you. I'll send you the footage and I'll pay you to run a YouTube for me. And it lasted about 2 weeks and then he just, you know, yeah. So anyhow, but no, if you have a look at my Facebook page, that's all I got. And you just rely on people sharing it and spreading it around. And so yeah. So nothing very high tech, but we want to grow. Like I've really, I want to grow onto the whole. Like, you know, we've been, like I say, we've been in Siggy War for. So yeah, so no, it's but I think because the global climate, it's much harder to get funding. You know, if I was building a boat or building a car, there are people all around the world that will send you money, but when you're feeding children and abandoned children, not so many. So,
the sad part is that the people get burned out watching wildlife stories.
That's right, they do. So we've been going long enough now that we've got kids that we picked up that were this big at the beginning that are now going through university, and they're being trained as teachers and policemen and, you know, all that, carpenters, all that sort of stuff. So, you know, we've got this whole track record. Yeah, I mean, God is, you know, getting them involved in church life is great. That, you know, I'm a pastor, you know, I've got to say that, but it's like, but education is the key. Getting them educated and then getting them opportunities to use their education. So yeah. I spend a lot of time working with like people that are just work in the sugarcane field and they're not educated, and most of them just think about today. Tomorrow's a whole different world away. But once people get educated, it's, you know, their brain expands and they can start to plan ahead and plot the course. And yeah, hey, thanks very much, man. So yeah, so
So you're supporting also some student in college?
yeah.
How many you support? How many?
I'm not actually. I'm not sure how many we've got at the moment. What we do is we've got a cut-off age. Like we take them to a certain age, and then when they can get jobs and support themselves through college or and then so yeah. So we instigated that only a couple of months or so ago, and so yeah. So I'm just sort of. I'm not sure how many we've got at the moment. Like so yeah, we had. What I done that for was we ended up with all these young men that we had sponsors for, and they were very capable of working, and you know, like on school holidays, but because they were getting sponsored, they didn't bother, and so yeah, and what I noticed was when I was looking back over the years that if there was sponsorship without effort, they become lazy. They expected the money, but the ones where we said we'll sponsor you so far and then we'll help you with the rest, find a job, whether it's in a resort or you know sugarcane or whatever, and then we'll monitor you. You know, those guys went all the way. You know, they had to work, so what they worked for they valued. Where the ones that were just getting the handout, you know, it's like, yeah. So
You are almost mirror image of how we have found it.
yeah,
In fact, you know, I knew this before I ever came to the Philippines, that a privilege that goes on too long becomes a right. So if you, rather than being grateful for the money that they do have, they would be saying, what happened to my allowance this week? Or,
that's it. And I had that on the island just recently. I was telling a few of the guys like that were over there that you know we've lost a lot of sponsors since COVID, and so you know and there could be months where there's no, we call it a budget. There's no budget,
right?
you know, because you know we were New Zealand dollars. We were probably around 5,000 or 6,000 New Zealand dollars a month, and so it's not big, but it's enough. It's hard work to get
What's the exchange rate on
We're about 30 pesos a dollar.
30 pesos?
So, but they'd had their allowances for so long that they started demanding it. And so, yeah, it got pretty sticky for a while, I tell you. But I learned a lesson from it. A good lesson to learn is that there needs to be, like I was talking to an organisation that is in Negros, and they look after pastors, and they've got about 200 and something pastors that they're looking after in Negros on the island there. But they only do in 6 months lots, and then every 6 months there's a review, and if they haven't fulfilled their obligations like the pastors, and that will let us withdraw. And so yeah, where some of my guys have been on it for 10 years, and so you know it's like they are expecting, and then the 1 month that I couldn't get money together, you know, that we were going to be late getting the budget. You know, it's like, yeah, so
It becomes a right, not a privilege.
it becomes a right. So in my 4 months that I'm spending here, I'm working out a new system Because the first system worked really good for 10 years, but it's not going to work now. And so, like, money's harder to get. I need more accountability. I need more online exposure. I need, and just a system of where it doesn't become a right. It's still.
I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's it.
Everybody is saying this about you.
Everybody.
This is all.
Yeah.
So
No.
this is where you really have to be.
No, wait,
Yeah.
picture.
You have to say no.
That's right. Yeah.
Some
No.
of them, I've been more aggressive.